So at this stage, you should be familiar with the process of connecting to data within Tableau. Going forward, throughout our lectures, we will use a sample Excel file that comes with the installation of Tableau. So let's quickly connect to that file by going Connect to Data, Microsoft Excel connection type, and the file name is sample-superstore subset Excel file. So we'll open that. And more specifically, we'll actually connect to the orders sheet within this Excel file. So we'll drag orders onto the main area. And at this stage, I'll just leave everything as is. So all the defaults, live connection, no filters. And I won't change the name of the file. So we'll go to the worksheet. In this lecture, we will look at different types of data fields available in Tableau, what you can do with them in terms of defining various properties, and how Tableau interprets these fields, which is an important concept because that is what largely drives the data visualizations. So on connection to Tableau, we can see that all fields from the data source have been classified as either dimensions or measures. Dimensions are generally fields that are of qualitative nature, such as a product name, or a customer name and a customer segment. Generally, dates, such as order date and ship date, fall under the dimension group. Measures are, on the other hand, quantitative fields. So things like sales volume or profit are very good examples of measure or quantitative fields. Generally, we use dimensions to measure the measures. If you're familiar with the data warehousing concepts, obviously dimensions should be familiar to you. Measures are basically what comes out of the fact tables. Tableau uses an algorithm to classify the fields into dimensions and measures. It examines a certain number of records from the source, and based on the underlying data and the values, it classifies them into dimensions or measures. It doesn't always get it right, so you might have to help it a little bit sometimes, depending on the source and the underlying data. But this is as easy as just moving the field from one group to the other. So if we thought unit price should be a dimension, we can just drag it up, and the unit price will become a dimension. Alternatively, if we thought it should be a measure, we can just drag it down to the measures. And that's about as simple as that. Tableau also examines the underlying values in various fields and assigns data types accordingly. Now, you can change these data types in a number of places. I mean, again, it uses an algorithm which generally gets things right, but sometimes you need to change it. And there's a number of places where you can change this. You can actually go back to your data connection and double-click on that, which will take you back to this view. And this is where we can actually change the data type. So if we thought unit price is actually not a number, but it's a string, we can change it here. And if we go back to worksheet, we'll see that the unit price is now, has a little ABC icon next to it, which means it is a string. Now let's go and change that back because that's not correct, and we'll make it a number decimal. So it's changed back. And this is also the second place where you can actually change the data type. So unit price, you can click on a little drop down and go to change data type and choose the data type you need. So let's make it a string. Okay, so it's changed the data type of the unit price. The fields are also classified as continuous or discrete. Discrete data types can take only certain items. So, for example, product category is a good example of a discrete type field because it only can be furniture, office supplies, or technology. Continuous data types on the other hand, can take any value within a range. So, for example, a person's height or weight is a good example, and in this spreadsheet, a sale or profit could be within a particular range, so therefore they are continuous data types. Tableau provides a visual clue to distinguish between discrete and continuous data types. Blue color, blue highlight, means it's a discrete data type, whereas green means it's continuous. Generally, all the measures are continuous, and green, all the dimensions are classified as discrete. Now, you can actually, just like you can change other properties, you can actually change the properties of each of the individual data fields. So we can change the shipping date from discrete to continuous. In that case, it becomes a continuous value as opposed to discrete. I'll change it back. The difference between discrete and continuous field type is best demonstrated via show and tell. So I'll quickly put up a little example that demonstrates the effect field type, whether it's discrete or continuous, has on data visualization. So in our example, we'll use discount, which by default has been classified as a measure. We'll drag it up to the dimension. What this does, it automatically converts discount to be a discrete type field, so you can tell that it is by blue background. And let's drag discount up onto the columns. And we can see actually that there's only a certain set of values that discount can be. So it makes sense that it is a discrete type field. Just to make it a little bit more prettier, I'll go and change the default property of the discount, and we know it's a percentage, and we'll leave it with one decimal place. Okay, so we can see discounts from 0 to 25%. Let's drag sales onto the rows, and this data visualization shows us the total value of sales by different discount heading or different discount category, if you will. So what we'll do now is we will change the discount field type to be continuous. And you can do this by clicking on the drop down, going to, at the moment it's discrete, we'll go and change it to continuous. And what this has done is actually change the actual data visualization. Now what Tableau has done, because we've told Tableau that discount is a continuous field, Tableau assumes that discount can be any particular value in the range between 0 and 25, and therefore it thinks that trend line is the most appropriate type data visualization for this type of combination of fields and field types. Now we know that discount cannot be a number between any number between 0 and 25%, so it can't be 4.5% or 10.2%. We know that we only have certain types of discounts we offer to our customers. Therefore, this visualization or this chart is actually misleading. So it's more appropriate to have discount as a discrete type field, where things are categorized according to a specific value of a discount. Now, the other thing to mention is that we changed the discount. We changed the field type of the discount on the visualization itself. However, you can actually change the field type within the data source, within the data view itself. So if you go to discount, you can actually go click on drop down and go to convert to continuous. So the actual little icon has changed to green. The background's changed to green, which means the discount is now a continuous field. And what this means is that anytime we use discount in any of the sheets or dashboards in our workbook, discount will always be treated as a continuous field. So this way we set it right at the source level rather than at the visualization level.